our last episode, as we were, Mama, you're talking to us about the woman, African woman feeling inferior in our society. I know there's a one woman today who is so charged and is happy that is no longer inferior being an African woman. Karibu sana, you're warmly welcome from all over the world. You as an African woman, this is your show. Do not miss, sit down, subscribe, and invite your friend on our website, Prophetess Trizah. Welcome. It's African Woman Open Talk Show with none other than the Vision Bearer Prophetess Trizah. Oh, Mama, you're looking so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm an African woman.
Indeed, so beautiful. So I'm with you today again, MC Bearer, that's my name, with my beautiful sister Naki. What do you have to tell us today?
I'm just so happy that we're here again from
Yeah.
the last episode. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been encouraged, have been motivated, have kind of changed your confidence a bit because you've realized that you're not inferior.
Yeah.
You're not inferior from a man. You can do whatever you want.
Yes.
And today I just want to ask Mom, what do you have for us?
Wow, so many women after our first episode, they kept on talking to me that we need to speak about toxic relationships,
Yes.
Wow.
because already they feel charged that they can step up. They have realized that
Yeah.
the confidence is in them. They just need to
Yes.
accept who they are,
Yeah.
and they can move forward, and they should not allow the grasshopper complex
To work
thing
with
to suppress them.
Yeah.
So I thank God for that. And
Yeah.
women, wherever you are, I am so happy to speak to you and to know that I can transform your life by, just giving you confidence and by just understanding that you're acceptable, you're forgivable, you're capable, you're valuable, and you're loved.
Yes.
And start by loving yourself.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah,
And,
so-
and Mom, that's the topic you've come up today. Is actually one of the reasons makes a woman feel so inferior and worthless in the
Yes,
society.
that is true.
Because we go through so much about that. What do you think is the reason for all that?
I think toxic relationship, especially in African continent and in general with an African woman, and as we are here today in African Woman Open Talk Show, we have to speak openly and face it. The biggest problem is that we don't talk.
That's very true.
Because we fear being judged.
Yes.
Because when you go to your parents or your relatives or the society,
Definitely.
even the servant of God
Yeah.
might judge you.
Very true.
Or they will tell you the same thing, go back. He will change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you keep on wondering, he will change when I'm in the grave or what happens, So I think, again, we go back to the same thing.
Yes.
It's our upbringing. It's the foundation. Because remember, as an African woman, you're told no quitting. You never quit your marriage. And actually, in African, women, we are shown like being beaten is also part of romance.
Very much. Actually, in Tanzania, there is a place, actually, the region, where if you're not beaten, you're not loved. You have to go complain.
But it affects your children.
Very much.
It
It
affects
does.
everyone
It
in the
does.
society. How does it feel to wake up and see your mom swollen,
Yes,
with,
yes.
with one tooth out? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not interesting.
Yeah, I'm a young person.
Yeah.
I was studying in school. A lot of people that I was studying with, their parents were going through divorce. Their parents were going through abusive relationships. And it affects the person. It affects them a lot because, I feel like in this situation, many times women are looked down upon. When it comes to situation in the marriage, it's always the woman is wrong and the man is right. It doesn't matter if the bruises are there and the proof is there, the man has to be wrong. So what can you say to a person who is young? How can you encourage them to not be affected by that?
Yeah, actually, before I come to that,
Yes.
let me first answer to what Stella said. Because Stella was asking me what I think of this toxic relationship.
Yeah.
As I've started by saying that it affects the children and it affects your family, it affects the surrounding.
Yes.
And the other thing we need to understand when we speak of toxic relationship, it's not just about being beaten physically. Also,
Exactly.
there's so many people who are affected emotionally.
Please speak about
mentally.
that.
Because there's what we call, emotional abuse,
Yes.
which is even worse
Yes.
than, being beaten physically.
Yep.
Because at least when you're bruised here,
Yeah.
people can see and they can be able to help you.
Yeah.
But here you're being abused emotionally. When you go and tell people that you're going through a tough time in your marriage, they don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because in Africa, we think actually abuse is just being beaten.
Yeah.
So now, when I come back to Naki about her being young and other people and in your school, and you have seen people being affected, because you see children whereby they come to school looking sad and you're wondering why this is an A student, but now this child is going backwards, and they're told not to say anything because things of the bedroom, they remain in the
Remain at
bedroom.
home.
And even when the mom comes out, she acts like nothing happened.
Even though you hear the hitting.
Exactly,
Yes.
it's because, of course, as African women, we are told to be strong,
very much.
we are tough. You can say we are like a safari rally vehicle. We fly, man. Whatever we go through, we will still walk through it. So children who are going through such relationships or going through such experiences in their families, it is very important for them to come out
Yes.
and speak out to somebody.
Yeah.
They can pick a teacher they can speak to.
Yeah.
They can speak to that servant of God in the church. They can speak to, to even a doctor, and the doctor will refer her or him to, to a psychologist, we always have people to speak to.
Yes, that is true.
Even though sometimes they might not give us the right answers,
Yes.
but at least when you pour out what you're going
Yeah.
through, it might help you to
Yes,
stand strong.
it does.
So toxic relationship, they affect each and every one of us. Because you can imagine you're a daughter of someone.
Yes.
And when you go home and you've been beaten, somehow your mom feels bad, but because of the African culture,
Yeah.
she still has to push you back,
Yeah.
hoping that the man is going to change and
Yes.
become better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I've realized is that once beaten, twice shy. And actually, I'm a woman of God. And, most of the time when people run to church, servants of God, they tell them there is no divorce.
Yeah,
You have
go back.
to
Yeah.
go back. But I am telling you, that's why we are here with African Woman Open Talk Show. So we can talk and we can bring out all these things. I'm going to tell a woman who is out there, don't become a slave of anybody.
Yes.
I said last episode, we are created to be a team. So God created us to be a team.
Yes.
And that's why there's a wife and a husband.
yeah.
When we come together,
Yeah.
we do things with togetherness. We bring out children who are healthy.
Yes.
Yes. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally.
Yes.
They will stand firm.
Yeah. And Prophet, when you're speaking about talking out to somebody, I know there are women there probably went to churches and explained to their pastors or to their ministers, their prophets, about their situation. There's one thing they say, you have to go back and submit. I would like you as a prophet to tell us, where is the line between submission and becoming a slave?
Aha, wow, that's an incredible question, and I know many people they're asking.
Yes.
Yes, because whether it's in African culture
Yeah.
or the Bible, it's always said that a woman must be submissive.
Submissive.
I think there is a way it has been described or translated which is wrong. I want to believe when God said a woman should submit, he also said a man should love their wife. So a man is not easy to love. And a woman is not easy to submit. That's why God had to put it there so that you can be reminded.
Yes.
It became a rule. So you can be reminded.
Yes.
Women, we are not very good in submission.
Yeah.
And submission does not mean that you become a slave of a man. It just means God created you as a helper to this man.
Yes.
And the man was created as the head of the home. So you just need to draw a line and have respect upon your partner.
Yes.
And he should have respect. It's a two-way. It's a two-way thing. You can't cut it off. So we need men to understand that when I'm married to you, I'm not a slave. I'm simply there as a helper. I need to help certain things, and you need to take charge as a husband. So let's abide with the principles. Love me as a man, and I will submit to you. Meaning I will respect you, and I will, do things according to how you want them to go. But you don't come home, you command me. You're there like a soldier. It's like a general. Pa, every time you come home, kids, they have to run to the bedroom. I have to be panicking. No, I want you to know we are a team. We are coming right back after this to continue. Welcome back, everybody. This is Prophetess Trizah, joined in by Naki Girl and MC Biera here. And we thank God that you're here and you're connected with us, because it is time for you to be awakened to your destiny. And this is your program, African Woman Open Talk Show. Feel free, ask questions, and we're going to be answering. Today we are talking about toxic relationship, in Africa, because this is where we come from and this is what we know. We so we just want to speak of what we have experienced and what we have seen around us and ourselves that we have experienced, And I just want to ask you too a question, the fact that you're also Africans, There are things that you have gone through in life and you have seen. Let me ask you, like you, Stella, I know you are divorced, I don't want to go so deep and ask you what caused that divorce, but how did you deal with your marriage? Because I know for you to work out, there must have been some toxic things that were going around, your relationship. How did you go through that?
To be honest, it's a rough move. It's very toxic and very hard, especially when not only yourself, but your parents, your society. Everybody's looking at you like you're an alien. How do you even get the guts to walk out of your marriage? You need to stay, you need to suffer, you need to feel whatever you're feeling. What I was able to do for myself, I came to realize that I come first. If I'm dead, I'm not a wife. If I'm dead, I'm not a mother. I'm not. I'm a marketer, a business development marketer. I won't do that. If I'm dead, I'm not an MC. So you need first. You cannot give what you don't have. So I need to heal myself so I can be able to pull a good attitude, positive energy all over the society. So whatever it was going on in my life, I came to the point. I met my prophet here, and it wasn't easy, to be honest. Even for herself, the good thing, she's a kind of person who will never push you like, don't do this or do that. She will just listen with you with the wisdom of God. And the decision is all yours. And for me, I realized that was the right decision to move. Because it's for the best of myself and the society and for him. But I needed somebody to listen.
That's the
I
thing.
needed somebody to understand me and value what I feel. If you go to my mother will lean on me. If you go to the in-law, they will lean to the son. But when you go to the mutual person who can speak to both of you,
somebody who is on a neutral ground. I remember I had to stand on a neutral ground, and not forgetting, even I had to be attacked by the family, some of the family members, and even without detailing the people. I went through a very rough time at that point.
Even myself too.
There are
times she would bump me, and I'm like, what? I'm supposed to be a daughter. You need to protect me. But I loved that about.
So and just to encourage you who could be going through the same line or the same path as Stella, there's always the right person to speak to out there. And I want to say today to you that I know by now you know that everything I said to you was to help you and to, because even though at some point I encouraged you to continue with the relationship, it changed you, because I remember you used to talk so harsh and it changed you and you became a person who can speak, with respect. And I know in the near future you will get your Mr. somebody and you will speak with, with honor.
And my prophet, I think when he spoke that, he reminded me that there are women who are going through toxic relationships, not because of their men, but because of their tongues as well. That was something you changed me. Even though, even the family, not only my family, but even him and the other family, they noticed that. I'm
and actually that's what I wanted to speak about, like what causes this toxic relationship, in our African society. As much as we are told vumilia, to just be
Yes.
still, all is going to be well. You know, there must be things that triggers that.
Yes.
You growing in an African family,
Yes.
surrounded by African families, you know, and also coming from like a broken family per se.
Yeah.
I mean, there must have been something that you went through and you felt like you don't want anybody else to go through
go
it.
through that.
And how did you deal with it?
Yeah. Honestly, I felt so out of place because at the same time, when you're surrounded with people who have parents who are in a bad relationship,
Yeah.
there's also people who are surrounded by parents who have a perfect relationship,
Yeah.
it seems.
Yeah.
So you feel out of place. You feel, you know, a bit distanced. You feel like you can't relate to the
Yes.
society. And as a person who is a woman,
Yeah.
and when I was young, I felt like, is this how marriage life is gonna be? This is not for me. You know? No.
Yeah.
That's the mindset that it gave me. So it
So it
can't-
affected you in a way that you felt like you
Yes.
might never even want to get
Oh,
married
yeah.
in future.
Yep,
But how did you deal with it? Because now I believe you can get married
Yes.
again.
You know, having all those thoughts,
Yes.
it was caused by being surrounded by that negative energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those surroundings were negative. So it gave me
Yes.
negative thoughts and I let it take over my thoughts.
Yeah.
But when I decided to honestly come to church and when I met Prophetess Trizah PT, honestly, that's when my perspective changed.
Yeah.
Because when you perceive something in a certain way, when you think it is not possible, it is not possible. So it was just about changing my mindset and not being negative about it and just being positive, saying that, you know what, if this marriage didn't work
Yes.
out, I'm gonna make mine work out. You know, it's
Yes.
possible.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I agree, and that brings us to something else, you know.
Yeah.
So here, Stella said that she realized actually most of the marriages out there, they're being broken by women through talking,
Yeah.
you know, being harsh, being all that, and so you annoy your husband and he
Yeah.
ends up hitting you. Anyway, no one deserves to be beaten.
anyway, yeah.
And now, when we come and look at to what Naki is saying, that she made a decision, but also she realized that it affected her mentally. And this is the thing. Most of us African women, we are affected mentally more than anywhere else.
That's very true.
And because your life starts with here,
Yeah.
what you process,
Yes.
then it goes to your heart,
Right.
then it brings hatred, it brings grudge. You are living in a marriage, you're being called Mrs. Somebody, but you're filled with a grudge. And that's how we see even women killing men. Because, you know, because you've been walking with all this anger.
Yeah.
This man, one day. So you're keeping quiet and you're not speaking out. But we see both cases here. What helped them? It was because they spoke out.
Yeah.
Women, a time has come. You need to speak out. You know, just don't be quiet because you fear to be misjudged. As a human being, you will always be judged.
Yeah.
Even how we are dressed today, we might be judged. But you know what? We still have to speak out.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I even said in the last episode, as a woman and woman of God, I've been misjudged so many times. But at the end of the day, they talk and then they realize I'm not changing and I'm getting a big follower and I'm looking good. And now they also consumed and now they start also, you know, joining me. Because I always say, if you can't beat us, join us. So now, as an African woman,
Yes.
it is my word to you. One, don't allow yourself to be a slave of anybody. Don't let anyone destroy your beautiful looks.
Yeah.
God created you with beautiful legs, created you with beautiful eyes, a beautiful smile, beautiful hands. Don't let it be destroyed. Remember, if you die because of a toxic relationship, that man will get another wife,
Yeah.
but your children will never get another.
Mother.
Never.
That's true.
You get
Nowhere.
so nowhere. So please don't allow anyone to destroy you emotionally, physically. No, God is for you, even if the whole world is not for you. And we are in 21st century. We have gone to school now.
Yeah.
You can get a job. Those days, women had nowhere to go because they had to sit at home. I'm thinking this is a very broad, you know, topic. I think we should have another episode
Yeah,
just
we
to
can
discuss
speak about
this,
it.
and also just send your questions so that we can answer them in the coming, you know, episode. Yeah, It's a
I
beautiful
think
moment.
because of the time, I want us to go deeper on emotional part.
Yes,
In the
okay.
next session. What do you want to
Yes.
say, Naki, as we are winding up?
All I want to say is that we've discussed this. You know, you need to understand that you are worth more a man who doesn't value you the way you need to be valued.
Wow.
You know, as a woman, you need to understand who you are so that someone else can treat you the way you need to be treated.
Wow.
Do not go for less.
Yeah.
Do not go for less because
Yeah.
you are of worth, you are of caliber, you are worth so much.
Yes.
Wow,
I am
thank
so
you.
happy about this topic.
you.
Wow,
so
and
much,
actually that
Naki.
reminds me, in the next topic, we're going to be discussing of women running into getting married to the wrong people. And this is because they're desperate and they don't realize who they are. And Aki has just said, as a woman, you need to know who you are so
Yes.
that people can know who you are.
Wow.
You know? So we're
Yes.
going to have an incredible moment.
So do not miss next episode. You are in the house with the PT and my sister Naki. It is MC Biela. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to follow Instagram, Facebook, Prophetess Trizah, and in our channel, YouTube channel, Prophetess Trizah. It is African Woman Open Talk Show. We love you. See you next episode.